Hi, my name is Vessel, and welcome to this video in which I'm going to showcase Platformation's new application called Connector4U. I'm first going to explain the basic concept and capability that Connector4U offers, then to continue with showing you some of the more basic configuration, and at last demonstrate the process of synchronizing tickets between two systems. So, to get started, the basic concept of what Connector4U embodies. Connector4U is literally an application that makes it possible to interface, integrate, or simply communicate with another system. The benefit of Connector4U is that it provides these capabilities in the spirit of ServiceNow, which is through configuration instead of customization. Meaning that by using Connector4U, it's possible to quickly add new integrations through configuration, this opposed to manually customizing ServiceNow to integrate it with one specific system. This, however, does not mean that this is an easy application to configure. One needs to know the ins and outs of both ServiceNow, the system with which it's integrating, and Connector4U. I would like to show you the configuration of Connector4U that I've done on our two ServiceNow instances. These instances are both configured in the exact same way. So they provide a bidirectional synchronization between two ServiceNow instances. And we're going to synchronize incidents. So by editing an incident in either of the two instances, it's going to send out an update to the other one in order to keep the incidents in sync. And in order to do that, we have had to configure an inbound interface inside Connector4U and an outbound interface. Whereas a inbound interface is where you define the information that's coming in and where it should be put. And an outbound interface is the other way around. So what kind of information do we want to send out? When do we want it to be sent out? And where should it be transmitted to? So in this instance, let's start with the inbound interface that has been configured. Um, so navigating towards it. So as I said, we have the information that's coming in. We have the defined inside the field mappings, meaning that the information that's coming in from another system is put inside a temporary table where from which we are pulling information towards the incident. So it's not like the external system is uh, literally editing an incident. No, the information is first put inside a temporary table from which it's picked up and then put inside the incident. So we have to define what we call field mappings in order to specify which type of information needs to be put where inside the incident. Meaning that if the systems that are integrating with each other do not use the same naming convention, it's not a problem because the field mappings provide the correlation between the different types of information. Now, we're also able to see the logs for this inbound interface. We have a very extensive logging engine inside Connector4U, both on a functional level and a technical level. Um, and as you can see, a lot is happening on this instance. Um, and what I'd also like to tell you is that we're able to actually define what kind of response this inbound interface is going to give back to the system that's communicating with this instance. So say it's not another instance with a Connector4U, we're able to create a custom response to accommodate the wishes of the other system that is sending out information to ServiceNow. Now, this is the inbound interface, and for the outbound interface, the configuration is somewhat similar, but it's more extensive because we have also got the field mappings, so which kind of information should be sent out and which kind of naming convention to the other system. You also need to define the actual endpoint of the other system. So where should Connector4U actually send the information towards? You're able to see the outbound logs, of course, same as the inbound logs, only then for the outbound actions. And you're able to define a function. So we're able to define a script in which you can do some more customized things if your other system requires that. So another important thing of the outbound interface are the trigger rules. So what we can see here is that we have a trigger rule for both a insert action and an update action, and we have a specific condition when this rule should be triggered. So I'd like to zoom in on the action. So you're able to say, okay, I'd like uh, the outbound interface to send out a message to other ServiceNow instances or other systems on an insert or on an update or on both. So you're able to define when the incident should be synchronized with the other system. And so that's a very basic overview of the configuration of Connector4U. So now I'd like to actually show you a synchronization between this instance and another instance. The other instance has been configured in exactly the same way. So I'd like to actually create a new incident. So I already opened the incidents on a new tab here. So we're still on the Ven 0 1178 instance, and we're going to create a new incident. Now I set up my trigger rules for inserting a new incident that it has to contain connector for you inside of the short description. So if I use a different short description that does not contain the keyword Connector4U, the incident will not be synchronized with the other ServiceNow instance. So let's create this. Well, let's enrich this incident a little bit more. Let's make it a very high urgency, some medium impact. All right, and let's submit this incident. All right, and now we can monitor the interface logs on this incident. So what's happened now is that I've inserted a new incident with Connector4U inside of its short description, and this matches the trigger rule that I previously configured for the Connector4U outbound interface. So what we should be seeing right now is that an outbound message has been sent. So this is the Ven 0 11 78 instance, and now I'd like to move to the outbound interface instance, which is the Ven 0 11 79. And I've already opened this instance view. So these were the incidents that were created today. None yet, because I have not refreshed the list yet. So just refresh the list, and we can now see the exact same incident that I previously created on the other instance, and now it has been synchronized to this one. You can see the same short description, you can see the same priority, and if we go to this incident, you can see that the information that we inputted on the other instance is also synchronized to this one. Now, if I were to change the incident here, so I'm now on the 79 instance, and I originally created the incident on the 78, and now I'd like to do an update on the 79 and then see the change reflected on the 78. So let's change the state to active and the contact type to self-service. And let's perform a save on this incident record. So now we should be seeing the changes that I made on this ServiceNow instance, the 79 on the 78. So if we switch to the 78, we can see that these two fields have changed, which now correlate with the 79, which I just added it to self-service inactive. Now, if we look at the 78 and we say, okay, let us modify something else here. Let's add a subcategory and let's perform a save again. And if we move now back to the 79, we can see that the category has changed nicely. Now, the reason that the subcategory was not changed additionally is because uh, this specific field does not have a field mapping in the 79. So this is just to show you that in order to have information synchronized, you need to create field mappings. So Connector4U knows uh, where the received information needs to go inside of the incident. Now, the example that we used here was an incident, but you can use any type of ticket that ServiceNow supports. So it could be changes or problems or whatever your organization needs synchronized between different instances or different systems. So that was the short demonstration for Connector4U. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was easy to follow and showed you the basic concepts and benefits of using Connector4U inside ServiceNow. So I'd like to thank you for watching, and have a nice day.